All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Around the Wiffle Horn. Today's episode is episode number 8. I can't believe we've done 8 episodes of this show already. Fantastic. Thank you for those who've been tuning in, and thank you for all the teams that have been on as guests. And I want to thank you to another team we have today, the New York Hammerheads. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
What's up, food?
All right, how's everyone doing today? Good?
Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. All right, listen, I'm happy to have you guys on. I'm glad we can make it work with everyone's schedules. So looking forward to having another exciting show where we talk wiffle ball. We talk other stuff, but mostly we talk wiffle ball because, that's what we're doing here. So let's go around the horn real quick, have everyone introduce themselves, say hi or a little shout out. We'll start with Mr. Tom Polly. Then we'll go with Mr. Rob Landrew. And then we're going to go with the Kennys, the Rodgers Sr. and Jr. So Mr. Tom Polly, why don't you start it off for us?
All right. I don't know how in-depth you want me to go. I'll just talk about like how I got into Wiffle.
Nobody really cares. Just say hello and say what's going on, man.
Hey, I'm Tom. What's going on? Play with Hammerheads. I'm the man. No big deal.
Oh, that's it, huh? Wow, that really, I'll tell you what. We're off to a fantastic start on this show. Rob, you are playing with this guy again. What do you think of his intro there?
He's an absolute blockhead, so none of this surprises me. The fact that he's here is enough. I look at his stat. But for everyone else at home, I'm Bob, one of the regional directors, along with Food, who's been doing an amazing job with all this of late. Most people hate me because they love to hate me, and that's fine. I love being an enemy. But regional champs, I got new ammo, and we're ready to rock.
Wow. That's right. Congratulations on your 2019 New York Regional Championship. That's obviously something we'll talk about later in the show. And then we'll go to the bottom right of the screen. We're going to bring back – what was that, Tom?
We won the region last year.
Wow, that's
you were there. Remember?
Yeah.
Still, it made no sense.
Excellent start. I agree. It feels bad. We'll definitely get into that later in the show. We'll go to the bottom right screen, and we're going to bring in the 2 newest additions to the Hammerheads roster this year: Kenny Rodgers Sr. and Kenny Rodgers Jr. The Kennys. Welcome to the show.
What's up?
How does it feel to be back in the wiffle spotlight again?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having us.
Nice. What is it like to be back in the wiffle scene?
Yeah, it's it feels good, man. It's time that I come out of semi-retirement. Like 3 of the only guys I know in the whole league are on this podcast. So I don't really know how much I could add to that, but
I'll ask now: are you guys signing as the 5th, the cat that's in the background? Is that who's that? Would be your 5th man on the roster?
I was supposed to wait until the end of the show.
That's okay. We'll say that. All right. So again, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Before we begin, I want to thank some of our sponsors. I'm wearing a Funk Guy apparel T-shirt, so I want to thank Mr. Brian DiNapoli for his fantastic work with that. Rob has the Babs Big Flies Lumberjack. I want to thank him for doing a fantastic job getting wood bats for our players, and also Volt Grips, our newest addition to kind of have a little fun at the bat. I know Polly likes those grips. I heard you cover them in Vaseline on Thursdays. Is that true?
Due to the quarantine, I changed that to Fridays, but yeah, it's still been going on.
Excellent. That's great to know. All right, let's get right to it. So we'll start with the newest addition to the team, the Kennys. So welcome to the Hammerheads. And so when Rob reached out to, I guess, Junior to join the team, what was your first reaction, and why do you think this team is a good fit for you and your dad to come back?
So yeah, Rob hit me up, and then when I guess him and Polly were looking for someone, and I think that they're both great players, and I get along with both of them a lot. So yeah, it just seemed like it would work, So
that's totally fair. Now, Senior, when your son came up to you and asked you if you wanted to play, what was your first reaction?
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously, I always want to play, life, responsibilities permitting, you know what I mean? So, but I think, I've been away long enough, and, it's I guess this being, Yard, playing with Rob, and who I don't think I've ever actually played with. So it'd be kind of cool. And, yeah, just thought it would be a nice, segue and a nice, way to kind of get back into the scene a little bit, and, play with Kenny a little bit, and, just get back to playing some whiffs.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll say it's nice seeing your face on camera. I feel like we haven't seen you in years, and you're really not even that old. So, like, it's great to even have you back playing whiffs. So it's exciting. Let's move on to Tom. Tom, you're once again playing with Rob. Some people would say, huh, again? But then again, you did come off a regional championship despite your lack of remembering of this event, but you did win a regional title. So what is it about Rob and the Hammerheads that keeps you coming back for more?
I actually don't. Can you just remind who do we play in the finals? I actually don't even know.
We beat the Lemonheads. You hit that fucking
Yes.
dick single down the line in like game 3, and we won like fucking.
Oh, that was a fair ball. That's fine.
Yeah, no, it was a fair ball. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it wasn't.
All right, yeah. Well, originally I played with Rob because I wanted to play with Frank. So I wanted to play with Frank. I think we had like really similar personalities, whether that's for good or for worse. We found that out like pretty easily that we needed someone like Rob to be your voice because probably like the least confrontational person in the league, me and Frank. We're like, if I hit a dead straight center field home run, they're like, that's foul. Like, you're right. Like, let's do it over. And then Rob will be like, no, fuck you. Like that was, that's a homer. So I like that about Rob. He's chill in the right moments and he's heated in the right moments. He has a really good, obviously he's probably one of the highest Wiffle IQs, you could ask for. So that's why I like playing with him. He's chill. And then, he knows when to, pick his guys up and get them fired up. And then he knows when to, I don't know, get stoned and chill and have fun, get barefoot and have fun. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, I've never heard so many compliments thrown towards Rob in one conversation in my entire life. This is fantastic.
Career.
So, Rob, obviously you're doing something right as being an owner or a manager of a yard team. I actually don't know off the top of my head, but you've been an owner of the Hammerheads for almost 10 years. Is this correct?
No, this is now going to be our 12th year. This is our 12th season, so 12 years as Hammerheads. From day one, I've been the Hammerheads. I mean, I know the Kennys are really whiffing. We're some sort of conglomerate, but at the end of the day here, if and when we play, we'll be under the Hammerheads name, I guess, for now.
There you go. So why don't you talk a little bit more about? Oh, Tom, do you want to hop in?
I was just gonna go on just the topic that I literally tried to quit whiffs probably every year for the last 3 years, and Rob just takes me saying like, yeah, I'll show up like when you need me, and then I'm just somehow on the opening day roster and I play every week. So this year again, legitimately, I joined a baseball league and was like, hey, I'm like not gonna be there. It's every Sunday doubleheader, like in a wood bat league. I'm not playing. That league gets canceled because of coronavirus. Here we are.
That's insane. Yeah, so this probably worked out great for you that you didn't have to actually commit to any week so far. You're still available. This is good for you. So
right.
Back to Rob here. So you last year you played with Phil and FK. You moved on from them this year to sign the Kennys. What was it about this swap-a-do per se that you felt like this is going to make your team be a repeat champion this year?
Well, like Tom said, I have to, remind him that he plays whiffs and he's pretty good at it, and doing other stuff is fine, and we can kind of work around all that. So I've convinced him the last several years at least that, he could stay involved and still, keep his other endeavors going, which, believe me, I appreciate and enjoy playing with him so much. Otherwise, I wouldn't be, dragging at him. But putting this team together, I've played with Kenny Jr. several times, but I've just played alongside and with and against both of those guys for so many years. They basically got me into the game in 2007, 2008 when we first started playing with Didio down in Otsego Park and
classic
Park and all different places. They got me into Fast Plastic, and eventually we all played Golden Stick together, and we just had great times together. And I love seeing, faces that disappear from the scene for a few years because, real life is real life. That's kind of, the name of the game in whiffs. You see guys come and go for those sorts of reasons. And when they come back, it's almost that much better. They're rejuvenated. And, at the end of the day, it's about having fun. And I really think this team will have fun and also has a ton of talent to, really beat anyone. So it was easy for me.
I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, you really replaced a bum and Phil, and no offense to FK, a declining player, not in a bad way, but, you can only play for so long. And you replaced them with Kenny, who's a borderline fantastic player, and with Moonlight, who, could be a Hall of Famer, even in fast pitch, but, we've all seen him hit. He probably will hit anything, anywhere, every day. And, just something in the Rodgers family. They just smack the wiffle ball around. Even Travis, we were talking about him earlier. Travis smacks the ball. Just something in the Rodgers clan that makes you guys really good hitters. So I would say your team on paper is probably better this year compared to last year. So to me, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't be the favorites to repeat as regional champions, despite having good teams in the region like the Enemy, like 10 Run Rule. I would argue that you guys got better. How would you guys feel about that? Anybody can jump in.
Well, I mean, we could obviously compete with anyone. I mean, I will admit we had, a relatively easy road to the finals last year in terms of who we beat. We didn't play the enemy. We didn't play 10 Run. We didn't play State of Mind. Those teams you normally think about at the top of the region, but not. We got over our State of Mind hump 2 years ago, Tom and I, when Frank was still with us, and they were always a thorn in our side. The enemy we beat several years ago in a playoff round, we know we can hang with all those guys. And you had Kenny, both these guys, and there's just no issue. There's so much pedigree there that, I think everyone here would agree. And I don't want to be
who plays on State of Mind these days, by the way? Not to interrupt you, but
I don't know.
That would be Jay. Oh, it's Jay, Venti, and Kyle K. But I think Venti was out this year because he's expecting again. I forgot who they signed. Oh, they signed BA, didn't they?
BA or Fish? Yeah, I believe.
And they signed BA. Brian Adams, you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he signed with them now. I'm sure Venti will hang around now. Who knows? Now that we haven't played and the whole season is kind of up in the air with our format or what's going to happen, who knows what some of these guys who originally had committed to not being in, maybe they're in now. I know, for my team, Drew was out because of a wedding, and now all of a sudden, who knows, and we might have a 5-man roster this year, maybe. So a lot could change with rosters. I want to ask Kenny Jr. one final question before we move on to 2020 expectations. We all know you've played with Anthony Didio for a long time in your life. So what is it going to be like to maybe playing a full season without him? How would you feel about that?
Well, I've done it many times. So, I played on 603 for I would say 3 or 4 years, I think. So yeah, me and him, I guess when Wiff Inc. broke up, we didn't really play. I guess we figured it would be easier to go separate ways to play on better teams, especially because I had hurt my arm. So, yeah, obviously I love Didio and I miss him, but, yeah, I'm excited to play Wiffs again,
Nice. Well, it's great to hear. Like I said, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was asking your dad. I don't even remember who was the last team you played on, and what year was that?
It was probably 2010, maybe 2009.
No, you played on New York Inc. with me and Didio.
I remember that.
That was 2014, I think.
Oh, but that was a one-off,
you played a little bit of yard that 1 year.
We won the first NCQ. He pitched against 10 Run Rule and he beat them in the finals.
Yeah.
And I think he played in Staten Island.
Okay. Wow.
So 2 tournaments. That was 2014 though.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But he wasn't you weren't practicing or anything like that.
You
kind of
just played the first few years of Golden State, 09, 10, probably definitely 11 as well.
2010 was your last fast pitch year.
Okay.
No,
because 11 was when we had the tournament in Cedar Creek, and I feel like that you guys played in that tournament together. And that's the video where you guys are yelling at Steffi because you guys beat the Sticks in that.
Oh yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah.
That was 2010. That was 2010.
That was 2010 because 2011 I played with Ty and Dave at the Open with
Didio.
Okay, that was the year we went to Arizona for the NCT.
That was 2010.
When we were yelling at Steffi. Yeah. Okay, so probably 2011, the year after that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, better late than never to get back into Wiffs. One final thing, Tom Polly, how do you feel about how much memory is going on in these other people, and you can't remember that you even won a regional championship last year? These guys are going down wormholes from all.
What's funny is I remember meeting Kenny Sr. I can remember a moment when the first time I played against Kenny Sr. I was I was asking I don't know if I was playing with Rob at that point. That I don't remember who I was playing with. But
I think you were playing with Vin, right?
Yeah, I think I was playing with Vin, and he was like, "Yeah, he's been out of it for so long."
Swingman.
Yeah, I was with Swingman, and they were like, "He actually isn't adjusted to yard. He's used to fast pitch, so this stuff coming at 45 miles an hour might actually throw him off." So I threw him a drop right down the middle, and he must have crushed it 200 feet, but it was way foul because he was so ahead of it. And I was like, I'm not throwing him another strike. It's not happening. And that I can remember, but I have no clue what's going on. When I get up to the plate, I have no idea who's on base or whatever. It's embarrassing.
Well, I guess that could be a good thing, though. You're not really thinking. You're just focusing on the pitch and you're blocking out all the noise. So in one way, that's probably.
It's not intentional, though.
The mind of Gerard, but he's nothing like Gerard.
Oh, I can't believe you even brought up G. So let's move into your 2020 expectations. So obviously the expectation is to probably repeat as regional champion, but let's look past. Let's look to the Open if and when we have one. Forget about seedings, forget about rankings. We all know who the really good teams are, not only in the New York region, but in the whole country. what is your legitimate expectation for your performance at the Open this year? And maybe what is one team you feel like you're going to have to beat this year in order to get over that hump and win a national championship? We'll start with Rob, since you are the longest member of this team.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure the Kenny Jr. especially probably has his own, like, not enemies, just friendly rivals that he'd like to beat. So I'm not gonna. I'll let him decide that. But for I guess the Hammerheads franchise personally, we have had issues with 10-run rule. They have knocked us out of the Open before. We have beaten them in super qualifiers. We somehow skirt past them in a lot of events for various reasons. Either we just don't meet up or we don't match up in pool play. I think they're a team that we need to prove that we can beat on a regular basis. I really feel like every other team we can beat at least 50% of the time. I feel like we haven't gotten there with 10-run rule.
I think that's fair. I think a lot of us can say 10-run rule is a team that would go over the hump. It's funny because you say that you seem to get lucky and bypass these teams to get to a title. I feel like a lot of other teams always have to play that team to get through the final. So it'd be nice if other people got a chance to not face them. Tom,
that was always our thing. We always caught state of mind too early, and we weren't prepared. And we were like, "This is our finals." Next thing we know, we were out in the final 8. Like, oh, great.
I know. Been there, done that. Tom, since you're also the second longest player on this team, is there a specific player or a team that you're looking to feel like you have to overcome and beat them this year to win the national championship of the Open? Could be New York or Mass.
Yeah, I was gonna say we never had problems with the New York region.
Wow.
I think our issue is the Open. I'm not saying not having an issue in a way that, like, yeah, we're expecting to kick everyone's ass. But I think I agree with Rob, like 10-run rule. Most of the times we beat them, it's because the wind was blowing in and they hit homers that were pop-ups to the pitcher. You know what I mean? So I think our biggest thing is proving ourselves at the Open. I think we did one year when we had like a 3rd place finish. That was really good. But I think our big thing is to, prove ourselves against guys like, Flynn, Haverty, Pucci, like those guys. I feel like when we play against them, we don't see them enough where, when you're playing, Serchillo and Stant, what the heck's coming, but you have no idea. You didn't play Flynn and Haverty and those guys, the whole year. You don't know if he developed a new super curve or whatever, or like who's hot, who's cold this year. So when you go into that, you don't don't throw, Stant inside or whatever. When you play against someone in Mass, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to throw to Haverty. I don't know if I'm supposed to throw a low drop or whatever. So I think the information at like the Open, like that's our biggest thing is playing teams that we simply don't know, and then you beat yourself, really.
Agreed. It's almost like you hope you face them early in a game that doesn't matter, so you can get a little bit of an acclimation to them.
When you see, you face Haverty in round robin, and then you see him again in an elimination game, you're like, I know what he throws.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Now, the Kennys, we'll start with Junior. You played a little more recently, but is there a specific team that you maybe have a grudge against that you're looking to get back on the field and play against right away?
I have the same exact mindset every single time I play the field. Like, I don't even care who's on the other end of the thing. Like, I'm just going to lace them up and just play. Like, I don't even, I have the same mindset for everyone I play.
Nice. So, well, I mean, that's a great mentality to have, because then you're not worried about going up and down and worrying about other people.
Yeah, I don't even care who I'm playing. So it's it. Like, I'm just going to play my hardest. So.
What about you, Senior? Is there a player that you're looking forward to facing for the first time in a long time, or an organization that you just love to share the field with again?
Well, I mean, I think if Kevin Norris, if he's on any team,
he is.
Definitely. Obviously he's a good dude. I had a long phone conversation with him for the first time in a long time, actually, about a month ago, talking about the format for the fast pitch and all that. But those guys, even when I played back then, we're always the team to beat. Those guys, him, Ty, such great competitors, so much talent. I got to believe that, if we're going to make a run at some point, it's going to have to go through those guys, I would think. I've been out of it for a while. I don't know, but I would think if those guys are still playing, it's going to have to go through them.
Well, I would venture to guess that the enemy will be available to be played sometime in the Final Four, if not the championship game, both at regionals and the Open this year. I noticed none of you said the players, so I guess once again you just roll right through us.
I did want to ask you. I forgot what the name of your team was, but I'm definitely going to remember you calling me a borderline good player. So
I said borderline fantastic player. That's outrageous.
Yeah, I take offense to that. So I'll definitely be seeing you. And
borderline fantastic.
That will be yelled while Kenny is rounding the bases against you. They're going to yell borderline fantastic.
That's
player.
great. That's like Peter calling me, making fun of me because I kept calling him an MAW winner champion. Yeah, that's right. So I guess I like giving bulletin board material. That's fair. Before we go on to the next segment, we all know that we haven't been playing and we'd love to play as soon as possible. We got Rob, who we all know is a co-regional director of New York. Rob, can you provide any update on if and when we might be able to play wiffle ball here in the state of New York?
I can and I can't. I don't have anything concrete, but we did speak to the park recently. They don't have anything specific in terms of permitted group activities, I guess is what they're calling it. So, we get a permit from the park and that allows us to have a group of people there to use their space, yada, yada. I don't believe that is part of the early phases of reopening in New York. So what that means is, I guess, that we're pushed back still until further notice. And what that date is, I really don't want to speculate to get anyone's hopes up or down, but it's not in the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's disappointing news, definitely. I know that we've been doing our best to try to be as prepared as possible, but no matter what we can do, if we are told we can't play, we can't play. So just want to remind everybody out there that obviously we are in communication and busting our butts to try to make sure we can play. And, we'll do the best we can. Hopefully we get as many games in as possible. Yes?
We'll have to play safely as well. So
yes.
We're prepared to, give the park whatever, give the county whatever they request from our league organization to provide, our numbers of people and how we'll run our operation. So, I think we'll be one of the first groups that are allowed to play just because of our, we are spread out. There aren't a ton of us in a confined space, overall. So we'll see. Time will tell. I'm optimistic. I know they've been working with me, but at the end of the day, it comes from, the government. So it is what it is.
I agree. So with that being said, let's move on to our next topic. And we talked a little bit before about like different teams we may want to face to kind of like get over the hump. Generally speaking, let's just go around the league. What are some other players and teams that we should be watching out for, especially to kind of inform the Kennys? Because at least for, juniors played recently, but senior hasn't played in God knows how long. So let's give them an update. Who are some of the good teams in the league besides the enemy, besides 10-run rule, that are going to give other teams challenges, including yourselves? Maybe we'll start with Tom and see who he remembers this time.
That's what I was hoping that someone else went because I don't remember. I don't even know who's on what team anymore.
Wow.
I think maybe, I don't know. All I'm going to say is just like a minor hot take that's like not really a hot take, is that if the Dark Knights went through a shorter lineup, that they would probably jump like 3 spots in the standing easily. That's really all I'm going to say is like, hey, if they're listening, like just do that and like just do a shorter lineup and you're good. But that's really all I could say is they're probably the most improved team that I've seen since I've been in the league. But you know me, I don't really know anyone, so.
Yeah, clearly. Do you even play whiffs? Like, what plan are you on?
I really don't even know. I show up every single day hungover with no balls and a bat, and that's it.
And you gave me shit for calling him Gerard. He's fucking Gerard.
He literally is. He's Gerard with a brain and talent, but I guess the brain part isn't as obvious anymore based on this
conversation. It is. Like the definition of book smart, like that's literally me. I'm completely clueless outside of that.
Hit ball, win game, as you would say. So that's all you need to do. All right, Rob. So why don't you help out your teammates that you just signed? Who are some other teams that you need to worry about this year besides the enemy and State of Mind and 10-run rule? Because we all know in pool play, you can really face anybody. And most teams, now that we know the competition's gotten better, most teams will make it competitive and could squeak out a win against anybody. So who do you think?
Well, I guess for Ken Sr., I mean, he played a little bit of Gaul last year, so he was able to meet a lot of the Bex guys. A lot of the local Long Island guys. I mean, maybe not too much on a personal level, but at least to see that, he did even come up to me and that was like his observation was just like, dude, I've been away for like 8 years and I come back, I don't know anyone, but the league is bigger. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, who are all these dudes? So I think that's the best part of, I think for Kenny especially, that he's coming into like this totally new league to him. I mean, one, it's not fast pitch per se, but it's a different style, but it's the same type of competitiveness and whatever Golden Stick has always been. So I think those guys and, the camaraderie across the board, which kind of creates that competition is, I don't want to name anyone specific because that's really how it is. Any of these teams are, might be average on paper, but, they play so much ball and they're so into it that, quick 4-inning game. Next thing you know, you went 1-2 in the day and, you're like, what the fuck? We're elite players. How did we lose? And that's kind of how Yard is sometimes, especially here when it's that competitive.
I would agree with that. Senior, for you, how long do you think the learning curve is going to be for you to kind of get back into a rhythm? Not just playing whiffs, but like, I guess, swinging the bat and throwing the ball, the long day. We all know how long a super qualifier day is. I mean, you're playing 6-7 games sometimes. What do you think your learning curve is going to be to get back into a when you're feeling 100%?
I would say probably, maybe just, a tournament, as far as just kind of, getting my chops back, as far as like just, playing, all day and, with that level of competitiveness and all of that. I mean, I do have a pitching machine at home, that I do take swings, every day, so, I mean, as far as the hand-eye coordination, like that, it's just something I've been doing my whole life, so that comes back quick. I mean, obviously the timing, the timing is the biggest thing, which might take a few games, to kind of get that back, especially being Yard. It's not fast pitch. So it's a little, the timing is a little bit of a different thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think I don't think the learning curve will be too much, and too steep rather. And I'm an old dude, I'm 44 now, but
Wow.
I do try to stay in decent shape, so, I think, I'll be able to compete,
Nice.
it'll be fun.
Well, that's great.
We'll have a good time.
Love the confidence, to be honest with you. I wish I had that kind of confidence. I feel like the first 2 events, I'm terrible. Then I'm good for 2 events. And all of a sudden by the Open, I'm like, I can't believe I'm still playing. It's like, this is such a long season and I've been playing for a long time. Junior, you've again played more recently. What are some tips you can offer your dad maybe to help him get back into the rhythm of Yard? We all know that Yard is totally different than fast pitch. It's 2 strikes. Pitchers do a lot more dancing. It's kind of a niche game. What are some like tips you can maybe give him, even though we already know he's a great player? Since you're such a borderline fantastic player, like what could you do to help your father out here?
He's the guy that taught me how to hit the wiffle ball, so I don't even know if there's anything I could tell him that he doesn't know already.
Let me ask you a question. Who was the first person to teach each of you to stand so far away from the plate that you guys do?
I don't think you stand that far from the plate, right?
I don't know.
It depends.
Compared to you, or maybe not. That's fair.
I just, honestly, like for me, I think it was like a gradual thing. And it wasn't even like a conscious thing. I just, like one day someone was like, dude, I think like one day I realized that like my foot, I don't stand on the mat, like the batter's box mat. Like I stand on the edge of it. Yeah. And I think one day I just realized I was doing that, but I don't know, like that's just how it feels comfortable for me. So I just feel like I can still reach the outside part of the plate. So, I mean, it really doesn't really affect me. I don't know.
Rob, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I feel like, you ever see like a rookie whiffler their first day and you can't throw a slider to them. Kids standing like right up against the strike zone. And by his third event, he's standing at the edge of the carpet because he realized that people are throwing him curveballs that he can try to get in on. And, I think everyone stands relatively far if you've played long enough. I mean, even Tom and I do as, pretty small guys. But, I mean, Kenny has the length of like a fucking giraffe. So I'm not surprised where he stands. But all the years that you and I have been putting fields together, we would put the biggest mat possible. At the end of the day, we're like, there's a freaking dirt spot on the right-hand bat. It's like 5 feet from the plate. Who was standing there? I'm like, oh, Kenny played today, of course.
That's so true. I know I went through a phase where I was like, I didn't want to be that far away from the plate because I always grew up playing baseball with like a shorter bat. So I was like, let me try the shorter bat. Let me get a little closer, and do that. And I actually had one of my worst seasons hitting. So I'll never do that again. I totally respect the idea of standing far away. I don't think I can stand as far away as you, Junior, though. You stand literally on a different field and you get everything. You're amazing.
For everyone. It's not for everyone.
Not bad for a borderline fantastic player. So don't try it at home. That's fair. All right, so let's move on. Let's stop talking about whiffs for a second. I feel like we can have like some good arguments amongst this group. We're all from Long Island, so let's do some poll time. Let's talk about some things that we like and see if the other person also likes it. So I know that Tom is from Massapequa. Kenny, I believe you guys grew up also in Massapequa, or is that wrong?
Yeah, we both grew up in Massapequa Park.
Nice. And Rob, you grew up in Seaford, and I grew up in Levittown. So we all know this one place on Merrick Road known as All American. Real quick, what is everybody's favorite one item to get at All American and why? Starting with Rob.
Double.
Yes.
Tom?
I just say double header because I'm lactose intolerant and can't get cheese.
Grow up.
Junior, you agree with the double? What about Senior?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have to go with that. It's been a while actually.
The quarter pounder with cheese is good though, but the double.
That's my go-to.
Aflac fun fact, Yuri, they had online ordering. They already took it down. I don't know what happened, but when I found the article and I looked it up, they had a double quarter pounder, so it was a
half pounder. That you could order. You could order a half pounder.
It's a hidden menu item, which I just learned, and we'll be getting it shortly.
Yes, a half pounder. That thing is too much.
What was that phone number?
Yeah, phone orders only. I think.
That sounds like a great idea. All right, it's crazy. I'm clearly in the minority because I like the quarter pounder with cheese. The double is good but for me, the quarter pounder with cheese is the way to go.
It's less food, but it just tastes better. I don't even know why, but the double just it tastes.
The bun
better.
is different.
It's like your typical
the bun is different.
burger. It's just nasty.
That's fair. What about shakes from All American? Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? What do you guys think?
Half strawberry, half chocolate. Yeah.
Wow.
No vanilla, never vanilla.
Half strawberry, half
vanilla.
chocolate.
He likes vanilla. I hate vanilla.
Always vanilla.
That's questionable.
Carvel vanilla. I mean, I know we're not talking about Carvel.
Yeah, but no, that is the best. I agree. What about you, Tom and Rob? What do you think? Shakes from All American.
Well, Tom's lactose intolerant.
True.
I personally don't eat shakes, but I am a chocolate person.
Well, it's true. You can't eat shakes. You can drink shakes, so that's fair. If you drank shakes, what would you do?
They're so thick and All American.
That's fair.
That is true. Hot take: just go next door to Marshall's and get a shake.
That's fair. That is fair. See, that's the local flair that people need to know.
People, it doesn't matter.
No, Marshall's is actually 10 times better than All American shakes, and that is fact. You could even get hot fudge in your shake. You get sprinkles in your shake. You could get pistachio. You could get any kind of flavoring in there. Go to Marshall's.
Okay. Well, this is the same argument. It's like in Long Beach, people complain, not complain, but they argue between Marvel and Frozen Cow, which is better, even though they're different. But
great.
Yeah, Frozen Cow is fantastic, but Marvel has soft serve pistachio ice cream, and that is
that's what you're looking for.
That's it.
Just saying. All right, let's move on to the next poll. A little more general. We all like soda. I assume everyone drinks soda at some point in their life. Pepsi or Coke? We'll start with the Kennys.
I haven't drank soda in like 2 years probably, but I would have to say if I'm drinking Jack Daniels, I would probably go with Coke. And if I was eating like a pizza, I would get like a Pepsi, I would say.
I think that's fair. I've never heard anyone say, let me get a Jack and Pepsi before, so definitely a Jack and Coke is where it's at. What about you, Senior?
I'm not really a soda drinker these days, but when I was back in the day, I mean, it was Coke, all day long. I was never a Pepsi guy, I think that kind of happened by default because that's just what, was always Coke in the fridge when I was a kid, which obviously I didn't have much input into, but that just kind of carried over, So
nice. Rob, I know that we used to drink a lot of Pepsis in college, but I actually don't know if you're a Coke or Pepsi guy.
I am a Coke guy, actually.
No poopsies for you.
I don't mind Pepsi. I think we drank Pepsi at Stony Brook because they were a Pepsi branded campus.
Yes, exactly.
Hence why we had Powerade, and I'm also a Gatorade guy.
Pretty true.
But yeah, I like Coke. Wild Cherry Pepsi, however, is better than Cherry Coke. I'll say that.
I agree with that.
I think we all agree with that.
I actually like Mountain Dew the best, or Baja Blast Mountain Dew is the best.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, let's not get crazy here. That's amazing. Tom, do you remember what kind of soda you like? Do you know what soda is?
Cherry Vanilla Coke is the best.
Oh!
I actually would take Dr. Pepper over both.
Oh, you know what? Dr. Pepper actually is in my top 3 as well.
Well, it's a Coke Pepsi debate, guys. We can't be talking about Dr. Pepper.
All right. Coke over Pepsi, but Dr. Pepper over both.
You actually want to hear something funny about Dr. Pepper? I used to drink that when I played baseball. I used to put that in my my Gatorade thing. I used to put Dr. Pepper in it.
Oh,
That's kind of gross, to
So,
be honest
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
But that's fair.
That's
All
gross.
right. Let's move on to the next poll here. We all like Southwest food, I assume. So Moe's or Chipotle or wild card Qdoba.
Taco Joe's.
Oh, or Taco Joe's. That's fair. Taco Joe's around the horn?
Actual.
Taco Joe's is good. I haven't had it in a while. It used to be a whiff staple. When we used to play at Cedar Creek Park, we used to go every week.
Yeah.
We brought the equipment back to my house. We were 22 years old, and our lives were a lot simpler. And we just go to Taco Joe's and talk about the day at whiffs. So, but generally speaking, I prefer Moe's over Chipotle, since that's the poll question.
That's the poll question. Tom Polly, have you ever heard of Moe's or Chipotle? And if so, which one would you prefer?
I eat well, I'm working from home now, but when I was going to work, I ate Chipotle probably like 4 days a week. So
Yeah, same.
Chipotle 100%.
Senior, you like Chipotle?
You know, I got to be honest. I've never had Moe's, and I don't love Chipotle. I feel like sometimes, like I don't know. I just kind of feel like the quality is a little bit lacking sometimes. You know, maybe I'm a little maybe I'm a food snob because in my old age. You know, I don't know, but sometimes I just feel it's like a little too pedestrian as far as the flavor goes. You know.
Wow.
But
Chipotle pedestrian. You heard it here, folks.
I can't speak to Moe's. You know, I'm happy to try.
I have a question for Dioria.
Yes.
When you go into Chipotle, does the person that serves you get a promotion every time they wrap your burrito?
What is that? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Actually, it's funny you say that. I've never gotten a burrito from Chipotle. I only get burrito bowls from Chipotle.
Okay. Well,
and I get burritos from Moe's.
So is your typical order, like, is that person going through the ringer? Like, are you on top of them?
Have you heard of, you want to talk about secret menus? They have a bucket. Actually, they fill up a bucket with the cilantro rice
like
and then the
5-gallon
beans and the lettuce.
5-gallon.
And then they just give me the sour cream in a bottle, and I just go sit down and I just.
It's like, it's true. Like the server behind there actually like determines probably your mood, honestly, for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Where you see him like needle dick you with like a big scoop of rice, you're just like, I don't know if I'm socially awkward enough. I'm like too socially awkward to be like, listen, can you like put more? Like,
well, that's exactly why I prefer the burritos at Moe's, because I feel like they actually fill up the burritos at Moe's. And Chipotle, I'm like, even the bowl, I'm like, we can do better than this.
Yeah, I go to the same Chipotle every day, and I know whoever's serving me, that first person, I'm like, oh, this guy skimps. Like, this girl always piles it on. Like, that's a whole societal thing.
I agree with you 100%.
Trend, the chick is gonna pour it on, and the guy's gonna be like, oh, "Fuck this guy with a weird mustache."
Yeah, this guy comes in here every fucking day.
Let's go a non-food or object-related topic, totally random. Aliens, yes or no? Do they exist? We'll start with Tom. Tom, have you ever heard of aliens?
yeah. So do you mean as in just like, do I believe there's life?
Do you believe aliens exist? Yes.
Yeah, but not on like Earth. But I think like you're silly to think.
Have you ever seen Gerard? I mean, sorry, I'm supposed to be not mean because I'm the host, but like, have you ever seen Gerard?
I think it's very closed-minded to assume that there'd be no life on Earth, because you see all kinds of analogies that there's more stars in this night sky than there are grains of sand and on the beach. And
that's deep.
If even 10% of billions has planets around them, I think the statistic would say otherwise if you're just looking on a numbers game. So yeah, but I don't believe in like funky stuff like there's like certain beings that like they have like frequencies that are beyond the human eye and are among us. I don't believe in the History Channel like ancient alien stuff. But I'm all about statistics and numbers game.
Yeah. Like Rob, what do you think?
I'm in on aliens. I agree with Tom on the to me it's simply a numbers game. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, I think that's a little holier than thou. I think that we're the only things that exist.
That's fair. Kenny's Rodgers seniors and junior. I don't know why I said it like that, but your thoughts on aliens?
Yeah, 100%. That 100%. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that the ancient Egyptians built those pyramids, right? Like, isn't there evidence that like that those pyramids, like beyond just like the actual structure, like there's
Well, it sounds like somebody's been watching History Channel, Ancient Aliens. To be honest with you, that's what I'm getting at.
I believe in that. I agree with that. I just some of the shit that they come out with is ridiculous, but I agree with that 100%.
You're gonna tell me the fucking ancient Egyptians were that good at math like 5,000 years ago? Like bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, like the exact center of that pyramid is like the exact, what is it, like polar north or whatever, like magnetic north, you know, like, you know, precisely like lined up from like outer space and all that stuff. Like there's just, you know, too much circumstantial evidence to say that there's not.
I agree 1,000%. And Junior, your thoughts on extraterrestrial life?
Definitely.
Nice.
We'll just leave it at that. Definitely.
I would have loved if Kenny was completely the other way on that.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Actually.
That's fair. Sorry.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for poll time. Before we get to our last topic, I want to once again thank you for making the time to be on the show tonight. For those of you watching, just so we know, reminder that we record on Wednesday nights. We drop here on Sunday mornings. Next week, we're not going to have a live show, but we will have a special edition to be determined during the week. We'll have special announcements coming for that. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank Funk Eye Apparel again for his great shirts that we wear and other clothing. He actually made some masks that he sent me the other day. I forgot it downstairs, but they're pretty cool, so good for him. I want to thank Babs for making the wood bats for our players. Always want to thank Jared at Moonshot for making all of our Moonshot bats and different things that actually found a Moonshot batting glove in my car I was cleaning out today, so thank you for the batting gloves as well. So let's get to our last topic. We all know we've been sitting here in quarantine for, I don't know, it seems like 7 years now, but it's only been like 8 or 9 weeks. Still a long time. So real quick, what's one thing you've done during quarantine to kind of remain sane and not lose your mind? We'll go with Tom. By the way, Tom, there is a virus. Did you know this?
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
I know it's getting old, but it's kind of funny.
I'm wondering why no one's in the office.
So what have you been doing during quarantine? Maybe you can even tell us a little bit something special to you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mainly just golf, honestly.
Wow.
You can't do it. So just golfing and biking. It's really like the two things that I've been doing.
Wow.
That's the only thing you can do right now.
Well, let me ask you a question about your golf game real quick. We're going to play next Thursday at Stonebridge, where you played today. You told me you shot an 83 on your scorecard with a triple on the 16th. That's tough to watch.
That is right. It didn't feel good. And then I had a classic case of I couldn't be convinced otherwise that I flew the water. Like I was like, no, I carried the water. I'm not in the water. I couldn't have done that. Like my driver carries this. Like there's no way I was in the water. And then I just got over my baby pout and dropped and then chunked that. And it was just over. Mentally crumbled for the rest of the round. 16, 17, 18, +6 when I was +7 the rest of the round combined. So, yeah, just mentally crumbled. I'm a mentally weak individual, and that's where I stood.
Rob, so happy that he's signing once again a mentally weak individual who doesn't know what day it is. So this is fantastic.
Exactly.
Rob, I know you've been working here and there, but you're still working, but you haven't had to go into the office as much. So what have you been doing to remain sane and not want to lose your mind, especially with Big Bob around?
Yeah, well, Big Bob does his thing. I actually let's see if I can get it. There we go.
Oh, the tension is real.
As a kid, I used to do model cars, and I made a random Amazon purchase and purchased one, and wow. I've been doing that. It's gotten that far down the list of random activities that you want to do. I mean, I've been busy. Obviously, I have work and other things, but that's definitely the most unique random purchase and activity I've done. Other than that, video games and sleeping is usually late.
That's fair. That's something different. I would say, for me, I feel like I've missed an opportunity to do some unique things during this quarantine, but I've just been playing nonstop Call of Duty and FIFA and Destiny. It's been nonstop.
You sold those baseball cards very early in the
Yes, for a whopping $37.99. Fantastic deal.
Well, I got $12 for that Kobe Bryant Sports Illustrated card.
Oh, so. Nice. That's really good. Kenny and Junior, Senior, I know, Junior, you've got a child to take care of during this quarantine, but what else otherwise have you been doing to kind of just keep yourself occupied besides going to work?
I've actually been playing a lot of wiffle ball lately. I'm on a throwing program right now, an arm strengthening thing. I'm trying to, aside from regular working out, I'm trying to just be able to throw fast pitch again, well.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've been doing that for a couple months, and I've improved a lot, and I'm definitely excited for fast pitch. I'll just say that. But
Mm.
other than that, I've been actually skateboarding a lot. So
That's true. I've seen a lot of videos of you skate, but you are, I hesitate to say, borderline fantastic skateboarder. But you are pretty good. Maybe
thank you.
not Tony Hawk, but I mean Bob Burnquist definitely.
No, not even close. Bob Burnquist,
What
a
about you,
legend.
Moonlight? What have you been doing during quarantine to stay active? I'm not quite sure. I don't know what you do for a living, so elaborate on that. Or
Yeah, no, actually, I'm a headhunter. I'm a recruiter, so needless to say, my business is predicated on companies, hiring and recruiting. So it's hasn't really been much going on that front. So I've actually been, taking a deep dive into the stock market. So I've been, day trading.
Let's go, Davey, day traders.
Yeah,
nice.
yes, I've been doing a lot of that. And, aside from that, I have a 10-month-old baby girl. So I've been getting to spend some extra quality time with her, which is nice. And, working on my chess game and bass guitar, playing some tunes.
Wow, is the one thing I've learned from this team is that Tom Polly's by far the least intellectual and the most boring person on this team. So that's what I'm getting.
That is not true.
That is not true.
I
I was going to say we have an unbelievably creative team, and I am just a fucking boring motherfucker compared to these guys. You guys are musically
Tom is dumb.
Senior plays bass. This is the greatest thing ever.
What's that?
Oh, Tom has a band.
Yeah, I play. Yeah, I also play music theory. Like you have
you should have brought that up.
Guitar. It's hanging on my wall.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't even notice it. My bad.
I'm the boring Wiffle guy who watches birds. These guys have actual talent.
Wow, nice. Very nice. Well, guys, again, I want to thank you for being on the show. We'll go around the horn one more time. Your 30 seconds of fame, like to do on the Reel Around the Horn. A shout out to somebody, a thank you to somebody, or maybe just some hot takes that you want to send out. We'll start with the Rodgers family first. Either one of you can jump right in.
Yeah, like I said, I've been playing a lot of wiffle ball, so I just want to give a shout out to Coop, Jerry, and John. Those are my boys. Just have been getting a lot of quality, just wiffle ball action over there. So I feel like I'm in mid-season form right now, to be honest with you. But just give a shout out to those guys and just everyone else. Look forward to seeing them again and playing against them. So
nice. Senior, anything you'd like to add on here?
Yeah, just like to give a shout out to you, bro. And Rob Longo and just all the guys that I haven't seen in so long. Like it's just seeing you guys and hearing your voices and like talking whiffs and it just it feels right and regardless of where it all ends up on the field, we're gonna have a lot of fun and it's gonna be good to just be back out there and playing.
I would agree. It is nice. It is actually the best part about this show so far has been seeing you on camera again for the first time in a long time. The best part about these shows I've been doing for the last 2 months is getting all the teams on, getting to see people again and getting that interaction and really getting that wiffle fever back going. So I would thank you guys for making the time again, being on the show. We'll go to Rob and then we'll finish up with Tom if he still knows what's going on. Rob, your 30 seconds here.
Somehow you're right. Somehow that joke has not gotten old.
I know. I just
embarrassing. It's like the 10th time, but Tom's an embarrassing person. I just want to give a shout out to Phil Frasiello. Thanks for leaving the team and allowing me to sign 2 actual players. Phil did a great job filling in for Frank, who's actually a lot better than Phil is anyway. Phil was supposed to step in and improve our pitching, improve our fielding. He did neither, and he also hit the ball like shit. He's a fun teammate. He's a good guy. He kept, our chemistry together, but he's fucking awful. And I know a lot of fans out there want to hear that. Phil is bad, and he looks like a big toe.
That's true. You actually did go on Tyler Odell's show, the Primetime Rundown, and you did talk more shit about Phil. And you're not the first person or will be the last person to talk shit about Phil on this show or any other show moving forward. He is embarrassing. And
Sure. Love him to death, but he's an embarrassing human.
Has he been signed to a team in 2020 yet?
He is on the Lemonheads. The team we beat in the regional championship. I know Polly doesn't remember, but that's the team we beat, and that's the team Phil decided to sign with. So
That's
that
right.
makes
They
no
love
sense
Phil.
as a player.
Well, perhaps
They
they
love
feel that
Phil.
Phil is the missing piece to get them over the hump against you
Well,
guys.
he says he's not playing because he's an at-risk player. So
Yeah, that's a very good point. Guy left his basement for the first time last week, so good to see he's alive.
Hmm.
Tom, you can round out the horn here. It's been great having you on the show.
Thanks.
Don't forget that the show drops Sunday at 10 a.m., so make sure you're available for it. And your final thoughts.
Sure. I'll just go on with Phil. He was a great teammate, but it definitely did not keep me focused at all. I could see with like Kenny and Senior, I'm actually to be focused. When it came to Phil, it was like it was just a complete joke, and I'm totally just a product of my environment. So if Phil's goofing around, like I have the giggles on the mound in like bottom of the fourth when I'm trying to get people out. Like it really wasn't good. Like mid swing, I'd be like saying something stupid to Phil. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. I won't say it on camera because it's probably not good, but yeah, I'm sure with this team, I could tell I'm definitely gonna be more focused and probably more goal driven, which is good. I mean, it was fun, fucking around or whatever, but yeah, definitely could see this roster being pretty dangerous. And my shout out is to Kenny's biceps.
Wow.
Haven't seen
Which
Kenny
one?
in
Which one?
multiple years. Kenny's biceps are
Which Kenny? Oh, me?
beautiful. Well, you guys are both in good shape, but Kenny Jr., I haven't seen you in like 3 years. Those biceps are fucking beautiful.
Tom, did I tell you look handsome today?
Thanks.
You guys
So, can you talk to me off camera quick?
Yeah, this is the segment we've been waiting 45 minutes for. This is what the people want.
I just want to talk to Kenny off camera real quick.
I can get off, and we'll add Johnny Whiffs, and it'll just be a fucking.
Oh, no.
I'll hide too. Then it's going to be so
How long
attractive.
is this Zoom call on for? Is it still open?
We can do a private show after this if you're interested.
Oh, private.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Catch the Venmo.
that's fair. Again, thanks again for being on the show. If you want to find more content from Let's Go Sunday, you can follow us on YouTube at GoldenStickVids. You can follow us on Instagram. We post on the Golden Stick with Instagram page as well as on Twitter and Golden Stick on Facebook. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Enjoy the Sunday sauce.
Later.